you how a lot of what's been asked for over the last 8-9 months, I know since I've been here, has been incorporated with this reskin and some of the other things. So without further ado, take it away, Heidi.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to walk through quickly the new apps reskin. It's gone out to all of our customers, so you may have seen that your app is looking a little bit more up-to-date and modern and clean these days. So I guess we'll just open this up to see, if you guys have any feedback or particular questions about it. Currently, I'm sharing the emulator on my screen to show what the new app reskin looks like if you haven't seen it just yet. So I can scroll through here, but you'll notice that we have a little bit more of a minimalistic look. It's cleaner. We brought it up to a little bit more like the, new, modern, clean, simple, little bit thinner font. So we've really kind of given it a new facelift, I guess I could say. You're going to find now when you post content that the images are at the top of the screen, and you have your title underneath instead of, we used to have the title on the top, and then we had your description and the image was at the very bottom. So now we're kind of making it a little bit more image focused if you're posting an image with your posts and your articles. So you'll see, the image at the top. Your text is a little bit different now. We've kind of made the font a little bit more modern. You're going to see that if you click into your particular post that, it looks a little more cleaned up. The spacing is, a little bit more eliminated. We used to have some pretty big padding spacing underneath where you saw your tags. Those are, no longer there. We've removed those. So you'll see now that, everything kind of is stylized a little bit better. We also have your group avatar icon in a nice banner on the bottom with the date. It also has your group name or company name, and it also will show you the favoriting functionality that you had before. So you can now favorite or post if you didn't know that previously. So that's going to live in your filters panel as a favorite, so you can reference it time and time again. Maybe you see something that you like and you want to go back to it. We've also removed the dislike functionality, so now you can like a post only. We had a lot of requests for that, so we have gone ahead and released that into the wild for you. So let me know if you have any feedback or questions. You can do this by raising your hand and I will unmute your mic. Okay, looks like we don't have any questions, so we'll keep moving forward. So the next thing on our agenda is to talk about the new release of the user authorization panel. So if you've been in your content management system lately, you may have seen we've added a new panel. Underneath the organization authorizations, which used to be just authorizations, you now see user authorizations. Now, the difference between organization authorizations and users is that, the organizations are being authorized the same as before. So when you're approving a new company to come through your application, they're still going to go in the same pending state. You still need to drop it down and authorize or deauthorize them. And that's going to allow that particular company to come through and get access to the particular feed that you are subscribing them to. Now, just keep in mind, this is only for people who are using, our databases management. If you are currently on a single sign-on implementation, or we've tied in some other way, just keep in mind that this is not, the road that you're taking. You're actually using your own database to make these authorizations happen. But as I stated, so you would go ahead and approve them here, but what the new area is going to show you is the particular users that are coming through within that organization. So I'm just going to show you what that kind of looks like now. So we had a lot of use cases where you were authorizing a particular company, and maybe someone has left the company and you wanted a way to control their authorization within the app on an individual level. It's not so much for authorizing individuals, so you can't send us a list of individuals that you'd like loaded up. This is more of a security maintenance kind of area, so now you can manage the different individuals that are within a domain. So for example, like I said, maybe you have a particular partner, you've authorized their organization, and now you know that there's one individual that is no longer with the organization. How do you reach out and disconnect that particular user? It's sort of like deleting them, but having that activity log so that you know that you've deauthorized them. They will not drop out of this list once you've done that. So it's as easy as just finding the particular user in this list. I've just typed in channelized, so it's going to show me all the different channelized domains that I have in here. So for example, I have Bob G at channelized. Now he's currently authorized, but if I want to deauthorize him, I'd simply drop down and select deauthorize, and from then on, that particular user would not be able to access the app anymore. Now they could come in with a different username and password, but at the same time, you have full visibility of that and control, so you could come in here and do the same thing. So this is a new feature that we've released. I think it's only been live for about a week now. If you have additional questions, you can feel free to reach out to me or Kurt, and we'll walk you through how it works. But there has been a little bit of confusion with different customers thinking that now they can send individuals in and authorize them on this platform, and this is more of a security functionality. Does anyone have any questions right now that you'd like to ask? Okay, so we'll move on, but feel free to ask a question. We'll have an open question and answer section at the end, so we'll address some things there. So the next thing we're going to talk about a little bit is analytics, and this is what Kurt's going to talk about today. Let me just open up this screen quick. Okay.
There we go. Analytics. I love the numbers. Heidi and I work so well together. She likes the graphics, I take the numbers. So here's a snapshot of, not a snapshot, it's a live view of, again, the back end, the CMS of ChannelCandy. And Heidi has pre-sorted the date range. Oh, you know what, that changed on us. Let's make it 4/1 to 4/30. Because what I want to show you here is, it used to be that our user count always showed you all the users for the entire history of your app, regardless of the date range that you selected. So although that was handy in some instances, because it always gave you all of them, it made it very difficult to see who were the users that were actually in the app during the date range selected. And we know a lot of our customers, if not all of them, think month to month and do things on a month-to-month basis. So there, we've rerun that for ChannelCandy. And of course, this is the partners. Now, when we click on the users, now we have the users and the users only that have logged in for this month. But the first thing everyone's going to ask me is, well, wait a minute, if you're showing me a list of people that logged in for April, why am I seeing a last login of May 19th? That's beyond the date range that was selected. Well, we've added a little tooltip in there because, as the column says, it is the last login in our database. And the challenge we have here is we increment that date. So there's only one date forever in our database that is held as the last login date. And we use other methods to know when the person logged in and keep that in history. So we know that from a historical point of view, this is the list of people that did in fact log in from April 1st to April 30th. That column there is always going to show you that user's most recent or last login. So just wanted to review that with everybody because it's, I see why it's confusing. Confused me the first time, which is why I told that Dev, you got to give me a tooltip there so that at least people can hover over it and get the answer to why is this stuff showing me what I think would be a wrong date. So this has been really useful. I've had a lot of people that have come to us and said, okay, I want to see my new users month over month. So now you can run this report month over month, take this, export this to Excel, and now you've got your list of users by month, and then just go month to month and do that compare of your spreadsheets. And you can actually build a nice list of every user and their first login date. I still have that on my wish list of things to be in the analytic download of the initial login date for everybody, but at least now we've got a way where we can build that without too much trouble. Any questions about this or anything else while we're in the analytics? Go ahead and raise your hand and type a question, or we'll turn your mic on. We've got a small audience today. We can afford to let you be heard. You're a quiet group today. Is there a couple questions?
Yeah, that's a question. Oh, here we go. Ed wants to know, how do we use the score?
How do we use the score? The score is one of our top secret algorithms that our CTO and data scientist, Dave Gagan, developed, as far as it takes everything into account: how often the user logs in, how many activities they do while they're logged in, and puts that against everybody in all of our tenants, and comes up with a 1 to 5 star score. That enough information for you, Ed? If not, let me know. Got another couple of questions, I think.
Yep. Stephanie has a question. Go ahead, Stephanie. We've unmuted you.
Make sure you unmute yourself. Stephanie, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Hello?
Yes, we
Oh,
can.
okay. I must have, oh, I know why I had the microphone was on mute even though I had changed the speakers over. Okay.
All right.
So basically, hi Heidi, hi Kurt.
Hi.
Hello.
I was just curious with the ability to, hi. With the ability to see the users in this time frame, for example, under partners, will the I just did a metrics call, so I think my answer is right, but for the partners that are there, that's also during that time frame as well, right?
That is my understanding, yes.
So if you click the tab, yeah, so the partners, even though it doesn't give you email names, it'll give you the partner name. It'll tell you when it says total logins, is that total logins representative of the month of April that you're running right now? Or is that total logins forever?
That should be the logins. I want to double check that. That's got to be per month, because there's no way Channeleyes only logged in 582 times
Yeah.
in history.
Yeah.
We'd fire our QA staff if that's all they did.
Yeah.
Okay, so potentially it is for the month, and based on the metrics I was looking at, I started to kind of figure out like the equations of people. So like, for example, you go into users and you might see, you know, Mike Smith has logged in 5 times this month and he did 60 activities. And then when I go, and he's from, we'll just say he's from Juniper. And then when I go and I look at partners and I see total logins 6 and they did, you know, or 5, excuse me, logins 5 and they did, what was it, 60 activities? I can start to equate like who's who, right? Like I'm like, okay, if that was the user, then, you know, that was probably the user of that partner that was active. but there's also other partners, partner users, I should say, or users of partners that may not be active, but the partner company is.
Right. Yep. I think you've got it nailed.
Okay, so will this information be able to decipher when you see the new, let's see, I just did this a minute ago. Now I have to look at it. When you see the new data that says new users. So like for us, I just did this for mid-month. It said 7 new users. Can it tell you now who those new users are and whether they're CA, or excuse me, I'm doing this specifically for our company, whether it's our company or partner?
Yeah. Yeah, we can indirectly figure that out because you could do up until the previous month, get a list of users, download that, then you could get a list of the users for the current month, compare those two lists, and the new users from the current month would be the new users for the current month, and then by their domain stem, you'd be able to determine whether they were internal or partner organizations.
Okay, but it's not automatic yet, right?
Not automatic yet. Still on our wish list, and still trying to get some stuff like that roadmapped.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for just making sure I had the right info on the users and the partners in terms of that time period and making sure that those two match. So thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else, Heidi?
Okay, so Ed would like you to repeat the answer to the score because he did not hear you clearly.
Sorry, Ed. Yeah, the score is, as our CTO, Dave Gagan, refers to it, is our secret sauce. It's an algorithm that he created being a data scientist type guy, and it is based on the number of logins the customer or the individual has done across a time period, a moving sliding time period, the number of activities they do while in the app, how long they're in the app, and active. Obviously, just a login doesn't mean anything. Someone could log in and leave it active in the background of their phone for 24 hours and not use it. But he's done quite an analysis and does a little bit of benchmarking between other companies, and has come up with that overall rating score as part of our Channelized secret sauce to help you manage your partners. I see you say thanks. You're very welcome. And of course, this is all being recorded, so if you forget all these great answers, you'll be able to download them and listen to them again after we post them. Excellent. Our next topic.
Okay, our next topic is very exciting. Get your popcorn out. Okay, so today we're going to show you just a little bit of a sneak peek of what our new...
Oh, wait, you jumped over one.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh, because I'm so excited.
I know. The blind copying of the confirmation email. I know.
Uh-oh. I'm backing out of this.
Excited. All right, I'll take that one.
People, I want to make sure people pay attention to this. So I'm going back to the analytics while you talk about that.
we don't have a visual for this because it's really that boring. But it is, seriously, for people that use our domain authorization, this has been something that's been on a wish list for a long, long time, and that is for you now to be blind copied on a confirmation email. So that every time you have a new user request to log in to the app, your app, you can know about it by having an email sent to you. Really cool, because that way if that user says, hey, I didn't get my confirmation email, you'll have it in your inbox or the alias inbox that we recommend you set up. You can get it to them right away, because the login confirmation token is only valid for 48 hours after that email first goes out. So we want to put the control of getting that to your new partners in your hands, make it a whole lot more easy. That's good English, Kurt. Make it a lot easier for you to manage those people who don't get that email or it hits their spam filter or they accidentally deleted it. So what you need to do is simply email to me or Heidi what email address you want us to fill in the back end. I know part 2 of this is I want to get this in the CMS so you can fill it in directly, but I'll take any victory I can get. So so that we can get this enhancement out and you can start making use of it. So blind CC confirmation emails. Not as exciting as where Heidi's going next, but she's excited because we're going to reduce our ticket counts by about 25 a month and phone calls by about 30, right?
Yes.
Not that we don't like hearing from you guys, but we'd rather do other things with your time.
No, we love hearing from you, but we want to hear good stuff. Okay, so we're good?
We're good.
All right, drum roll, please. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump ahead. I have the agenda right next to me, and I just got excited. Okay, so let's go back to where I was with my excitement. Okay, so this is something that you have all been very patiently waiting for, and I thank you for that. This is our beta, let me just repeat that, beta desktop application. So we have two different pieces of development that are in production right now. It is the desktop portion and the tablet portion. Now I realize, yes, we have a tablet version of our application that's live right now that plenty of people are using, but it's not the most beautiful or user-friendly, I guess, is what I want to use to be nice. But anyway, so the desktop application is going to be really great, and it's going to fill a big void for lots of people who, they still have these, you sit in your office, you want to be able to browse on, the latest news, you want to be able to have access to your deal registration and your card decks and all these goodies that you have inside your, I see Lori say, whoop, whoop, sorry, but, so we've got all these really great tools, and they're all trapped in an app, which is great because you could take it with you, but sometimes you're in the office too, and maybe you want to see things a little bit bigger than the palm of your hand. So this is just a little sneak peek. We currently have this in beta right now, but we have 4 customers currently that have requested to be part of this beta group, and unfortunately I have to tell you that it is closed. We cannot take any more beta customers at this time, but keep in mind that this is going to be released very soon, so you just have to keep being patient with us. But we'll take any exciting emails if you want to ask me some questions about it. In the meantime, I'm happy to answer them. But anyway, so I'm just going to click around a little bit so I can show you what this has in store for you. So right now we're just looking at the news wall. I think you know what this looks like, but it's on my desktop and it's not the emulator and teeny tiny, so that's jumping over a huge hurdle for us. So we have the exact same menu that you have in your app, but it's currently on my desktop, which is great. So from here I can click on filters and check that out. My gamification dropdown came on because that's also integrated in this platform. So I'm going to send that away for now. But here I can access all my filters, so I can filter on content. I can access all of my card decks, which is really super cool. So it's going to fill my whole screen, which is a big win. So people can go through the card decks on their desktop now, so they're not trapped within the application. Let's see if this will let me back out here. Hang on. Stay happy. It didn't. Hang on a second, guys. Bear with me. Pausing. I backed out so far that I left. Okay, so let's try this again. We have our card deck, so that's really great. We have 3. This is exactly what we have in our ChannelCandy app, so this is just a mirror of that. We have the chat functionality built in. The more menu is, the last bottom button that we have on our ChannelCandy app, but here I can click on this little arrow and it's going to release all these great functions for me. So I can use my pitch tracker in here. I can see the events calendar, which is really beautiful. I can look at everything that's coming up, all my webinars and training sessions. My deal registration is in here, which is probably the biggest win because I know a lot of people have been asking, how do I send my deal reg out to people who don't want to use the app, or maybe they don't have a smartphone. So here it is. This is just the regular old terms and conditions that pops up within the app. So this is ours. You can select yes or no from here. If I select yes, here's my full beautiful screen form here, and I can populate these and submit, and it's still going to go to the same place. So with ours, it's a deal reg to email, so it would be delivered by email. All of our documents are in here with the same folders and categories, so I can access any of the different documents I have loaded in here, whether it's a URL or a PDF. We now accept zip files, so you can load a zip file in here, so that would be a lot more convenient on a desktop because now you can grab that bundle of compressed files and use that on your desktop. We have our surveys in here, our different groups are listed, the contact us form lives in here. I mean, we've got it all. So this is coming very soon. Do we have a release date that we can give them now?
Targeting June 15th is the target release date for everybody. This is no additional charge either, folks. It is part of the platform enhancements for everybody.
Sorry, Lori's fun.
You guys passing jokes on the side?
No, Lori's just happy that it doesn't cost more money.
Oh, of course, everybody's happy.
We love free.
Yeah, free is good. Seriously, no. And when someone is on an app or on a desktop, the download will know what you're on and connect it to the appropriate app.
Yep, and it's going to be all the same colors, so we just take what you already have spent all your time on with the graphics and the color codes and all the different menu items. So all of those things are just going to be mirrored within this, so it will be just another extension of your app and the same branding and everything. Okay, I'm going to save some of these questions for the end, or we might actually have to respond to them in an email because Ed, I think I might need to get a little bit more information from our development team on your question. Ed was wondering if we could integrate with a Salesforce community, and I do not know the correct answer to that at this moment. So I will find that out for you. Okay, what's up next? Oh, we're going to talk about push notifications. That's exciting too.
Yeah, we were going to talk about missions, give you a sneak peek on that, but a little delayed. We didn't make an entry, sorry. So apologize for that. Our graphic designer didn't get that job done yet, and I could show you mock-ups, but I don't want to show you mock-ups and then when the product comes out have it be different and have to explain that away. So apologize for that. But now push notifications. We are always getting asked, what can I do to make sure my partners are engaged, are they using our app, keeping their mind share. And one of the absolute best ways to do that is through the use of your push notifications. And I have most of your apps on my phone and keep tabs of you guys, and I see some of you really, really using it and using it very thoughtfully. You've got programs around it, you've got strategies, you've got contests going, you've got product announcements, trade shows coming up, really, really good stuff that partners are going to want. And it's one of the things that I do track here across our entire user base. So what's on the screen now is the last rolling year, 13 months total, of the number of push notifications that have been sent out by all of our customers. So as you can see, it's been increasing pretty steadily. Had a very, what I would consider normal downturn in December, usually a pretty slow month to do any big promotions and sales pushes. But out of the gate, January, February, that's when everybody does their year launches and their programs, and has a lot of partner conferences. But here we are starting to head into the summer months, which are usually tough sales months for everybody except the tourist industry. And I'm seeing quite a downturn in the number of pushes out there. So just a heads up, I'll certainly work with anybody one-on-one to develop more of a plan or a strategy, or discuss what you're doing and what you're seeing. Do a deeper dive into your analytics, because in 90+% of the cases, people do a push and they get an increase in activity. So we know it takes partners to your app for sure. And if there's content there that's going to make them money or that's of interest to them, they're going to make use of it and ultimately make you more money. And that's what we want you to do, because then you're successful, you're a hero, and we like making people heroes. So that's our tip of the month for user engagement, partner mindshare, push notifications.
Stephanie has a question.
Is she typing it, or is she going to talk?
She's going to talk.
She's going to talk. Stephanie, hang on. Let her know when she's live.
All right, Stephanie, go ahead.
I probably should be texting, right?
No, it's okay.
Okay. All right. So, well, I know everybody likes to text, and then I'm like, oh my goodness. But wait, I have to get all my thoughts into a little text box now. Okay.
You're saying your thoughts are keyed
I have a question.
Actually, hold that thought for a minute. Don't answer.
Yes, my thoughts.
We're going to launch a little poll for everybody. We're really interested to know how many times a month people are pushing. So I'm not seeing it on our screen, but we should have launched it. So it's a little survey up there, so everybody can please take that and submit their results. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Okay, I did see the poll, which is good. My question about push notifications is this. For the folks that have downloaded the app, accessed the app, and are actively using it, do they have to choose whether to receive the push notifications or not? Is there a checkbox somewhere that says, do you want to receive them, or is it automatic no matter what?
I know that's a function on the initial app download.
Or opting into a push notification?
Yeah. I don't remember.
Yeah, are they automatically opted in, or do they have to do something? Because I don't recall, and I'm curious if everybody's getting the push messages.
Yeah, so when a user downloads your app from iTunes or Google Play, the very first time they create an account and they've confirmed their email, they go through the whole process, and then once they actually confirm and log in for the very first time ever, the app is going to ask them if they are authorizing XYZ, so in your case CA, to basically send them information. So they need to opt in or they can opt out. But normally I'd say probably, 95% of your users are going to opt into getting information from you, because that's the whole purpose of downloading your app in the first place. So unless you annoy them and you send them a push every 5 minutes, they'll probably stick with you. There are, a small percentage of people who just don't like them, so they may opt out. But yes, the very first time they log into your app, that is something that is needed for them to do, and that's for every app. If they send push notifications or alerts in any way, it is kind of like a regulation. They have to get your approval in order to do that.
Okay, so it's really just at that very beginning stage. So there isn't anything on the account settings or is there any other place that they could modify or change it or opt in or opt out or anything like that?
Yes, you can opt out at any time, and you can also opt in if you've decided to opt out, and that's in the settings on your phone. You most likely have some kind of alerts area where you can make those decisions per app on your phone. So you can turn them all off.
So how would we know who's active and who's not? So if I get a question that says, which I've had, oh, okay, out of the 100 partners that are, using the app, which ones are, or you might have to give them specifics, but how many are receiving the actual push notifications and how many aren't? Is there a way I could answer that?
There is.
And no.
I'm working on getting it more automated, but I can actually get a report by each of our individual customers from the provider that we use called Urban Airship. That is a total list of the number of devices that are attached to your account by email address and whether or not that device is active or is deactivated. So I can get you and any of our customers that list.
Okay. Okay, that's good to know. So that way we can at least see, you know, if the push notifications are getting to, you know, the majority of our partners or not, basically.
Right. Yeah, it's a very challenging report. It's nothing that comes out in Excel. That's one of the reasons I haven't got it very automated yet. So it's a challenge to use, and some of the things that can be misleading or challenging rather to decipher is you could have a user that has 4 devices listed, 3 of them active and 1 of them deactivated because they've gotten different phones over the years, or they've gotten a different iPad, or you know they had one that was active, then they deactivated it because they gave it to their child, and now they've got a different one. So there can be a lot of activity by user, and sometimes the only way to really understand that is look at it.
Okay.
But it's a good starting point, and I can offer that if anybody out there wants that. I'm happy to provide that to you on an individual basis. I can promise that because there's only 10 on the call. No, happy to help anybody. Good question.
And thank you for that. And then the number that you showed on the screen that said total number of pushes from April 2014 to April 2015, what was that in relation to? Is that thousands or hundreds or? That's the units of, that is across our customer base. That's how many pushes you sent. Not the audience, not how many received them, but all of our customers sent a total of that many push notifications. Right, but what is that number again? Like that I couldn't see. Like I could see like 10,
can you bring that
10,
up again?
20, 30, 40, but
no, my PowerPoint slide.
Oh, the push notification?
Yeah, the push notification slide. Yeah, so the high water mark was about 68.
So is that 68 per?
For the month of January 15th.
I'm trying to make this smaller. I can't see the data, so I don't know. I see like it's blown up to 120%, but I can't see anything.
You mean it's too small on your screen?
It's too big. I just see like an 80, and then I see the word total.
Oh, it's too big on your screen. Okay.
Yeah, because I couldn't see any of the data, so I didn't know what that was. Like,
I hope nobody else is having that problem. All right, well, tell you
okay,
what,
there we go. Total, I see it. So total pushes, it says, now what does that represent? So April 14th through April 15th, April of 2014 to April of 2015, is that 30 pushes, or how is that per month? What is the breakdown of that?
Right, that's the total number of pushes across all of our customers per month.
Okay, so 60 pushes, what's the highest? What are we up to? 65 maybe in January?
68.
Per month.
For that
okay,
month.
All right, good. I'm gauging for that month. Yeah. I'm just trying to gauge what we do in terms of like other, industry standards or other partners.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
now I at least know what the numbers mean. So that makes sense. Okay, very cool.
All right. Any other questions on the pushes? How'd our survey?
Great, thanks for showing that.
You're welcome. We get everybody responded to the survey, Heidi?
70% did.
70% did.
Which I think is pretty good.
Which is good. I know we've got some of our staff on training listening to this, so they don't do pushes. Our QA does occasionally on ChannelCandy, and that messes everybody up. No. All right. I think training is our next topic. Or you got a question there you're reading?
Steve wants to know what our best practices are for push notifications.
I like to see people at least a couple times a month. And some of this is business dependent, the size of the business and what you have. But I also think that we've maybe been thinking about this a little too narrowly on what should be pushed about. Like we've got a couple of customers now that have added to their pushes a sales success story of the previous month. That maybe where a partner found a new vertical or had a success where the company hadn't had a success before. So, you know, put a push notification on that and follow it with a really nice wall article and a description. Because let's face it, as much as your partners might be in competition with with themselves, you want everyone to realize where successful territory is and to capture that. So share those success stories. Don't be afraid to put things, training tips out there, and do these things in combination. You know, obviously product launches are simple and easy. You're gonna promote those, but at least a couple of times a month. But again, make them worthwhile. You don't want to just say, okay, I got to put one out a week, and you're just filling space, because that's going to devalue you in the long run. Long answer to what feels like it should be a short question, but it kind of depends. Good question though. Anything else, Heidi?
No, I don't think so. Does anyone else have any questions specifically about push notifications? Okay, Mark, I'm going to unmute you so you can ask your question. Hang on one second. Okay, Mark.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was wondering, is this data isn't normalized, right? So this is 68 push notifications for all of your customers. How many customers is that? Is that 30? Is that 40?
That is, let's see, I have to go back in January, remember. It is in the probably 60 range.
Okay, because your data makes more sense if it's normalized by number of pushes per customer, right? Because as you're going up in terms, you know, you're going from 30 pushes a month to 60 or 70 pushes a month. If your customer base is increasing over that time, the trend is less relevant, right? If that was a consistent number of users across that time.
Yep.
Right, so yeah, I'm just wondering if it's, yeah, so it averages out to about a push a month per customer then.
Correct.
Okay.
And even more interesting would be, I agree with you on the normalization, but then a sub-normalization is of the customers that did push, what was their average. So I think both of those are interesting numbers. Great points. Moving on, I think.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about our little help center here. Some of you know that it exists because you have sent us some tickets through it, but we have a really handy learning center area, which we will send everybody. We'll follow up with a link to this if you don't already know that it's here. But in this particular little training help center, we have, you know, some different tips, and we have some worksheets and videos. You know, it's kind of filled with all kinds of goodies here, and we're working on making it a little bit more up to date, because as we release features, we just need to put some training documents and videos together for each of them. So bear with us if some things seem a little out of date, but we now have a new area on this help center that is called user groups. And behind this, we have the very first recording, which was back in February, and we'll be adding this one as well. So this is our second ever user group meeting. But we're also going to be trying to integrate some feature request functionality to this, so that if you have something that you'd really like to see in our app, or maybe on the desktop version now, or in the tablet version, or maybe you have an idea for an entirely new product, whatever it might be, you can start voicing these thoughts in kind of like a forum, and we're going to have voting on them. So we'll be opening this up to all of you to vote on some features that you might also be thinking of being a good fit for, your particular company and your users in general. But we will send you this link in a follow-up email so that you have access to it.
And the other thing on training is we will be going to a regular schedule for Training 101, Advanced Training, and Analytics Training. We're going to start in June. We've got a lot of customers that have new staff that comes on and want to bring secondary staff and get them acquainted with how to use the content management system or any part of the app. So we're going to publish these out there, and you'll be able to sign up ahead of time and pass those out, or heck, even take a refresher on the training. So you'll see them coming out pretty soon. And there will be basic training will be on the first and the third Tuesday of the month. Advanced will be on the second Tuesday of the month, and Analytics will be on the second Thursday of the month. Right now we're looking at 3 p.m. Eastern, thinking that hits the widest range of our time zones that we are looking to hit. So excited to be rolling that out so that you can sign up for those classes as they become available. Q&A, because I think we just talked about enhancements, scheduled training.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
So it looks like we're kind of wrapping things up here. We're going to open the floor for any, loose questions that we haven't gotten to, or if we just sparked your interest with these training sessions that we were talking about. But, this is your time to ask us, some questions, or give us your feedback or comments, or tell us how great we are, whatever you want to do. So go ahead and type a question in your comment box or raise your hand.
I know one of the ones that I had sent in ahead of time from Jared, he's interested in making his articles and events posting look a little better. And he was hoping that there would be a way we could integrate a WYSIWYG editor, or at least allow some HTML type coding on some of these. And we hear that a lot from a lot of our customers. So I appreciate you getting that to us ahead of time, because I was able to vet that out with our development. Matter of fact, we had, I'd call it a spirited discussion at today's design meeting. And here's the challenges with that, is that because the articles posting lists the first 250 characters, and then you get the ... to go to the details to see the rest of the page. And that is a standard in the industry. It's exactly what Facebook does and exactly what LinkedIn does. So, but because of that character limit, it would make it extremely challenging to know where to make any of the stops, if you will, or breaks for where that number of character limits are. If, let's say, for instance, you were in the middle of some sort of HTML coding character, you literally could blow that post up and create junk. So the industry standard is that you can do that, and it'll show up on the detail page, but for how it's going to show up on the main news wall is it will be a what's called sanitized version with that HTML encoding removed, and it's showing up in the standard font and text. So it is usable, and we're going to be posting an FAQ for people who aren't HTML experts, to just the real simple way if you wanted to put something in bold, italic, or underlined, or put line breaks in. So at least when you're doing your detail post, that will have a lot more formatting capabilities. But technically right now, we're going to be limited to just the way the wall lists those posts and those events. So wish it were better, but I got an education this morning too on, hey, that is the industry standard, and here's why. believe me, we'd love to be ahead of the industry, but the effort would be pretty substantial to make that happen for right now. One of the ideas that did come up, though, as a potential workaround, and we're going to try this out a little bit here over the next week, is rather than doing it all in text, is create something in a visual format and post it as a, what's the word I'm looking for, Heidi?
An image?
An image, there you go. My brain went completely blank. That's why it takes two on this call. But anyway, yeah, so, there it's an image. So you're not bound by that character limit. Yes, you still need the title and you still need some description, and they would still be sanitized. But, and like I said, we're going to see how this works, because we certainly don't want to recommend something and wind you up, say you have something that's blurry and not exactly what you want anyway. But that's a potential workaround that we're going to look into more, and we'll let you know how that works out.
Looks like Jared has his hand raised.
Jared, we're going to unmute you here. Go for it, Jared.
Hey guys, how are you?
Well, thanks. You?
Pretty good. Yeah, just talking about that, kind of working through. And I understand what you're saying with the break in the code. Would it be possible to? I know, for example, with our web development on our company site, for that type of scenario, it almost has like a summary section, so that you would put what is displayed on the wall per se, and then the content section, which is what you could actually edit with the WYSIWYG. Because with what we're trying to get with that is being able to have more people within our marketing be able to work with that posting, because we need to be able to separate that the content into almost breaks. So when we have a marketing campaign go out and we're describing different things, it doesn't make sense for all of it to be together.
Got it.
So, do you know what I'm saying, though? If, like, you could almost have a separate field that you could copy the first part of your message, and that's what displays on the wall. I'm with you. It could be completely all pushed together and no formatting on what's displayed there. It's really more when it's clicked into, you need to have that formatting ability.
Right. Yeah, and that was one of the exact methods that was talked about this morning as probably the way to go with parsing that out into the two sections. So.
Yeah, you might look at how Drupal does it, because that's the CMS we're using, and it does it pretty well, pulling that excerpt from your content body.
Yeah.
It pulls it automatically unless you go up and designate it yourself. You have the ability, okay, I want it to say exactly this, otherwise it'll look weird because it may pull something of the code.
Right. Okay, cool. Yeah, I appreciate that heads up, and we may have our guys talk to your guys. So all about mind sharing here, so we get this get the functionality. Because I'm with you. I want to get you guys that functionality for sure.
Cool. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thanks for the input.
It's 4 o'clock.
As you just heard, it's 4 o'clock.
Sorry, my computer's talking. Okay, so we're going to wrap up here. Does anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns? Like everyone's pretty solid.
Everybody's solid. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining. I appreciate it. We are on track to have another one of these in August, and I may put a questionnaire out there to see if people want me to move that to September, so that you can take that next to last week of August off without worrying about missing this great meeting. And then in all seriousness, I do want to find out from everybody out there, what you consider the most important feature of ChannelCandy. So be thinking about that. I'll be quizzing y'all in the near future. We want to understand what you feel is most important about our product, so that we understand that. Great. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Hope it was worthwhile, and always look forward to making you successful. Take care, everybody.